And welcome my dear friends and students. In today's video, I am going to explain angular momentum of a rotating body. What do you mean by angular momentum of rotating body? That can be defined in two ways. The first way is angular momentum of rotating body is defined as the product of moment of inertia of a body about axis of rotation and angular velocity of that body, that is called as the angular momentum. So angular momentum is represented by L, moment of inertia is represented by I, and angular velocity is represented by omega. So this definition can be easily remembered by this mathematical formula, that is L equal to I into omega. So angular momentum of a rotating body is defined as the product of moment of inertia of that body about the axis of rotation and angular velocity of that body. So that is L equal to I into omega, easily defines what they mean by angular momentum. That angular momentum can also be defined as the cross product of radius vector and linear momentum. You can also consider the relation between this angular momentum and linear momentum. Angular momentum can also be defined as the cross product of radius vector and linear momentum. We can consider the relation between angular momentum and linear momentum. That's why I write here second definition. That is, angular momentum of rotating body is the cross product of radius vector and linear momentum. So from this definition, we have to obtain this relation, this expression, that is L equal to I into omega. Now from this relation, we can write the SI unit, CGS unit and dimensions of the angular momentum. So SI unit of angular momentum is written as kg into meter square into per second. Here CGS unit gram into centimeter square per second. That's why I write the dimensions of angular momentum, that is 2 in length, 1 in mass and -1 in time. So that are the dimensions of angular momentum. Now, after defining what do you mean by angular momentum, now we have to obtain the expression for angular momentum of rotating body, which is L equal to I into omega. Now we have to derive this relation. So for that, let us consider one rigid body which is rotating about an axis passing through the point O. So our first point of consideration is consider a rigid body, which is any shape body, rotating about an axis passing through point O. With constant angular velocity omega. So that is our first point of consideration. Second, let body consist of n number of particles. So let body consist of n number of particles having masses m1, m2 up to mn, situated at distances r1, r2 up to dash dash rn from axis of rotation. Third point of consideration is, though the whole body rotate with the constant angular velocity omega, but these different particles possesses the different linear velocity. So different particles of body possesses different linear velocities. So that is V1, V2 up to Vn. Now in order to find the total angular momentum of that body, you have to consider the general relation between angular momentum and the linear momentum. We have L equal to R cross P. Now here use the definition of cross product of two vectors. So in magnitude we can write as, that is cross product of two vector is magnitude of first vector, magnitude of second vector and sine of angle between them. Now here as P equal to linear momentum is the product of mass and velocity. Here now we have to find the angle between this radius vector and linear velocity, which is always perpendicular for any particle. So that's why you have to put here theta equal to 90. So therefore we have L equal to simply R into P. Why? Because sine 90 is 1. So just put the value of P. So I write here L equal to R as it is. What is P? Linear momentum, which is the product of mass and velocity. Now again you have to put here the value of linear velocity. That is V equal to what? R into omega. Therefore in general we have L equal to R into M. Put the value of V as a R omega. Now if we rearrange it, then we have L equal to M R square omega. Now consider this angular momentum for first particle. Now use this relation for the first particle. That is angular momentum of first particle is given by L1 equal to M1 R1 square omega. Similarly, angular momentum of second particle, that can be written as M2 R2 square omega up to dash dash. Angular momentum for n particles, that is Mn Rn square omega. Now we have to find the total angular momentum acting on that rotating body, which is the sum of angular momentum of that n particles. So right here L equal to, this is M1 R1 square omega plus M2 R2 square omega up to dash dash Mn Rn square omega. Now angular momentum of that body can be obtained just by adding the angular momentum acting on each particle. That is, here we write L equal to L1 plus L2 up to Ln. Put the values, make out the omega common, that is M2 R2 square up to dash dash. This is Mn Rn square into omega. The terms in bracket that can be reduced by writing summation of I equal to 1 to n mi Ri square into omega. So the terms in bracket gives us the moment of inertia of a body. So that's why we have angular momentum of rotating body is equal to what? I into omega. So let us revise it. We have to obtain the expression for angular momentum. For that we consider one body which is rotating about an axis passing through the point O. This is the point where we consider the axis, and this body rotates with the constant angular velocity. Now second point is, we assume that this body consists of n number of particles having masses m1, m2 up to mn. That particles present at distances r1, r2 up to rn from axis of rotation. Then, though this body rotate with the constant angular velocity, but particles are present at the different distance. So that's why they possess the different linear velocities. Then you have to consider the alternative definition of angular momentum, that is angular momentum is the cross product of radius vector and linear momentum. Use the definition of, that is vector product of two vector. Then we have in magnitude, that is L equal to magnitude of first vector, magnitude of second vector and sine of angle between them. As angle between R and B is 90, sine 90 is 1. So that's why we have simply L equal to R into P. Now put the value of P, that is the linear momentum, as mv. Now if we again put the value of V as a R omega, then we have the angular momentum equal to mr omega, mr square into omega. Now use this relation for first particle, for second particle up to dash dash, for n particle. Then add all the angular momentum acting on that individual particles to obtain the total angular momentum. Then after simplifying, after writing the values, after simplifying, we have the relation L equal to I into omega. Now we have to consider again the important topic, that is the law of conservation of angular momentum. How angular momentum conserve in particular system, though I and omega that get vary, but their product remain constant. So the statement of law of conservation of angular momentum is that if the external torque acting on body, that is the rotating body, is 0, then angular momentum of that rotating body remain constant. What is the condition to angular momentum remain constant? If the torque acting on that body, rotating body, is 0, then only angular momentum of that body remain constant. That is, mathematically we can write as, if torque equal to 0, then only L equal to constant. We can start this statement from here also. Angular momentum of a body remain constant only when external torque acting on the body is 0. Now here we have to prove this. For that you have to consider one body which is rotating about particular axis. So consider a body rotating about particular axis. Now we have angular momentum is the cross product of radius vector and linear momentum. Now if we differentiate this equation, that is dl by dt, we have to differentiate this equation with respect to time. That is dl by dt equal to d dt of this two term, that is r cross p. Now you have to use the formula, that is dl by dt equal to first term constant into differentiation of second term plus differentiation of first term into second term constant. Now here you have to use the two values, that is dl by dt equal to r cross, that is rate of change of momentum with respect to time is nothing but the force according to Newton's second law. Rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to force, and this dr by dt is nothing but the velocity, linear velocity, that is here v cross p. Now we start to prove this law of conservation of angular momentum. We just consider one body which is rotating about particular axis. Then you have to consider this relation between linear momentum and angular momentum, that is L equal to r cross p. we have to differentiate this equation with respect to time. Now, if we differentiate this, that is dl by dt equal to differentiation of r cross p. Now, in first step, we take out the r as a constant, that is r cross dp by dt plus here dr by dt cross p. But dp by dt, rate of change of momentum with respect to time, is the force, and here rate of change of position vector with respect to time is nothing but the velocity. Now I write here dl by dt equal to r cross f. Now here as p equal to m into v. Now if we put the value of linear momentum, then we have here v cross v, the cross product of same vector, that is equal to 0, because sine, the angle between every vector is 0. That's why sine 0 is 0. That's why this second term vanishes. And we have r cross f is the torque, that is dl by dt equal to torque. Now put the condition, if torque acting on the body is 0, so that's why right here dl by dt equal to 0. As differentiation of L equal to 0, it means this term is constant. So we get L equal to constant only when we put the value of torque as a 0. So this is how we can easily state and prove the law of conservation of angular momentum. Let us revise it. What is the statement of angular momentum? If the external torque acting on a rotating body is 0, then angular momentum of body remain constant. That is, keep in mind only this mathematical form. We can easily write the above lines, that is, if torque equal to 0, then L equal to constant. In order to prove it, just consider this relation, that is L equal to r cross p. Differentiate this relation, then use the two values, dp by dt equal to f and dr by dt equal to v. Now if we put the value of linear momentum, which is the product of mass and the velocity, as cross product of each vector, that is equal to 0. That's why second term vanishes. So I write here r cross f, that is the cross product of radius vector and force, that is nothing but the torque. Therefore, I write here dl by dt equal to torque. If torque equal to 0, then we have dl by dt equal to 0. dl by dt equal to 0, it means differentiation of this angular momentum is 0. Differentiation of only constant term, that is 0. So that's why I write here L equal to constant. Now in order to explain how angular momentum of rotating body that get conserved or remain constant, let us consider certain example. So let us consider the first example, that is a boy standing on a rotating table in two different positions. The first position is with his both hands away from the body. That is, now here in our first example, consider a boy standing on a rotating table with his both hands outstretched, that is away from the body. Let us consider myself as a boy, and here now I am in outstretched position. It means my both hands that are away from the axis of rotation. Now in this case, if we consider I1 is a moment of inertia of that system and omega 1 is a angular velocity of that table, then it is assumed that as boy is standing in outstretched position, in that case moment of inertia of that system is more, because the particles of the body that is away from the axis of rotation. That's why here moment of inertia of the system that will be more and angular velocity that will be less. How we can say that angular velocity of that body is less? As you will easily observe that this rotating table rotate at a slower rate. Now when the boy folded his both hands close to the body, now in that case what happened? moment of inertia of the system that decreases. Now in that case, moment of inertia that decreases become less than the earlier case. So here what will be your observation? Now you will observe that this rotating table now rotate fast. It means now here angular velocity that become more. It means there is a conversion. Here angular momentum is less, angular velocity is less, moment of inertia is more. In second case, that is the angular velocity is more and moment of inertia is less. It means how angular momentum of that body remain constant just by changing these two values. In first case, moment of inertia is more, but angular velocity is less. In second case, that is now moment of inertia become less and angular velocity that become more. It means by decreasing the moment of inertia and by increasing the angular velocity. So that's why we can write for this example, that is L1 equal to L2, where L1 is a angular momentum for outstretched position and L2 is the angular momentum for this folded position. So that is the first example to explain how angular momentum of rotating body that remain constant. Now let us consider the second example, that is the ballet dancer. So ballet dancers always use to rotate fast about their own axis. When they want to rotate fast about their own axis, here what is the movement of that ballet dancer? They folded their both hands close to the body. So when they folded their both hands close to the body, then what happened? Moment of inertia decreases. And as moment of inertia decreases, then angular velocity increases. And angular velocity increases, that's why these ballet dancers can spin at a faster rate about their own axis. How? In case of ballet dancer, angular momentum remain conserved when ballet dancer spin about their own axis in such a way that their hands that are away from the body, in that case moment of inertia will be more and angular velocity less. But when they want to take the fast spin, then what is the movement? They folded their hands. They take their hands close to the body. Why? In order to decrease the moment of inertia and increase the angular velocity. Now in case of the third example, that is the dive. It means the person which take the jump in a air before enter into the water. That is called as the dive. So initially that person is standing in a straight position. Now when he want to take somersault, it means jump in air. Now in that case, he has to fold his body in such a way that his head that must be close to the legs. So he bend his body in U shape. For what reason? Just to decrease the moment of inertia. When moment of inertia decreases, then what happens? Angular velocity increases. So when that person bend his body in U shape, then moment of inertia decreases, angular velocity increases, so that that person can jump in air. And when he want to jump into the water, then that person stretch his body in initial condition so that moment of inertia increases and angular velocity decreases. That is the third example. Then fourth example, that is very familiar example, observable example, that is the person or boy that is walking on the road. In that case, you will always observe that the person or boy will walk on the rope, his both hands that are away from the body, or some stick that is taken in order to increase the moment of inertia, so that the angular velocity of the rope become less. So these are the all example just to explain how the angular momentum of body remain constant.